Hello, welcome to this episode of Story of the Last Magi. What this episode consists of is the blood moon and secrets of the gospel. Well, as I've stated in previous episodes, what I honestly believe happened to me in the year 2005 when I first became schizophrenic was I came up with this list to help me get over my depression. And when I had done so, I basically saw this white flash go through the center of my brain. And I honestly believe once that happened, I was basically a cross between forces that be. And yeah, pretty much like I was able to transfer out of different dimensions, and I guess in doing so, what I acknowledge now as far as the purpose or meaning behind all that was that my purpose was basically to establish the law of God when it was taken out of context by Lucifer, which on the basis of how he took it out of context was pretty much he had it established where pretty much it was like interpreted through like a certain understanding as far as do what thou wilt and thou shalt become the whole law. Well, pretty much what I turned it into was give unto yourself as you give unto others. When interpreted through God, he basically established the premise that the law would be based on love thy neighbor as you love thyself, and that should be the whole law. Well, on the basis of that, pretty much it took me a while to configure that out. I was basically transmitting out of like different time periods and things of that nature. And when I was able to transfer back here, pretty much it was like in the self-fulfillment of that basically came into fruition as far as what I would preclude in the name of God by petitioning unto him. New understanding as far as what things were consisted of in this universe. And yeah, so but pretty much like I would travel like the blood moon, and I was known as a myth, like I guess to many people who heard about the tale of, I guess you could say, my involvement in all this. And I guess like back in the day, like when I used to have like medieval armor on, and I used to ride a horse and things like that. Like I would take the horse wherever I would go when I would travel the blood moons. And yeah, just like it became like this huge myth, and a lot of stories I believe like in today's society were based off that. Like I used to have like a cross on my shield, right? And I honestly believe what that cross represented was the axis. The axis would basically pertain to everything caught in the balance of everything mismatched or just that coincides within one another within the means of what it ultimately adheres to, you know? So I guess when I was establishing the law, like it was always within me to establish the law. I think that was my main purpose, why I was brought into fruition, into manifestation as a conscious being. So when that happened, that allowed Jesus basically to enter this realm. And like when he had done so, like his purpose as well was to be crucified. And I guess like when he was put up on the cross, what that allowed him was that he was able to assert himself within the material of I guess you could say within that axis between us being forgiven or just forgiving our sins, I guess you could say, because he was honestly like pure of heart, you know. And I guess that within the essence of his being, he was able to assert that unto like the premise of how everything's established down here. So regardless of whether or not you're sinful or just whatever the case may be, God will have the last say as far as who we are and what our final destination will be, you know. So yeah, that's pretty much the episode. I wanted to keep it short. So, hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, see you later.